Before we begin, happy birthday Chicken Soup 3112. Hope you spend it well. Welcome back everybody. I know it's been a while because I had a sore throat and was also dealing with a weird work schedule, but that's beside the point because I'm back. Because I persevered. Because I'm goated. Anyways, as a late Valentine's gift, I thought I'd give you beautiful people an almost step-by-step tutorial video, plus some other methods I use for making customs. Because ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jib, and this week we're going to be turning Leo Prime from this to this. But like always, before we begin, consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing if you like what I do here. The first step here is disassembling the figure. Now for Leo Prime, this step is pretty easy because he's a model kit, because he's meant to be built and disassembled and painted and all that stuff, but usually for other figures it's kind of a pain in the ass because there's pins and screws involved. But because Leo Prime is a model kit, he has several small pieces, so I urge you to stay organized throughout the entire ordeal. Now the second step involves prepping the plastic, but I'm gonna keep it $1.50 with most of you. I don't really do that too much. Cause you could sand the plastic down and do all that stuff, but I usually just hit it with a primer and I'm good. But the thing about primers is, depending on the color you go with, it ends up affecting the color you're gonna layer on top. Like for example, I wanted to get Vallejo's metallic paints, but I accidentally made a little bit of a fucky-wucky and ended up buying Vallejo's flat paints. So to not have to buy any more paint, I had to make do with what I had. So that meant having to use a silver primer underneath a majority of the colors that were going to be metallic, like the blue, the red, like this for example. But the thing is, you have to go with light coats. You can't go too heavy, because then you end up covering the silver metallic part too much. But before we continue, make sure you're in a well-ventilated area when painting, because these things are going to have you like Walter White with lung cancer in a couple years. Anyways, I hit the rest of the pieces that were to become red and blue with that same silver and repeated the process. Meanwhile, for the other colors, I revisited some old friends I had lying around, like this red I used for Cyclonus a couple months ago. Once again, Rust-Oleum. Some other cool colors that I used was this cool Rust-Oleum gold that I had lying around because of an unfinished guitar project, as well as this dupla color black, but not a normal black, a metallic black. Meanwhile, the rest of the white on the figure is the only color I chose not to get too crazy with, so I kinda just settled on a white primer look. The only part of the figure that I actually struggled with the color choice was the sword. Cause initially I was just thinking about hitting it with a matte yellow and some silver highlights and then just calling it a day, but it didn't look too good. So instead, I hit it with the same Rust-Oleum gold used everywhere else and hand painted the little crest at the handle silver, as well as the sword itself silver. Now the final step in the painting process is to hit everything with a sealer to prevent any chippings, damages to the paint and all that stuff. And because the metallic blue and red came out looking really flat, I used the gloss Rust-Oleum finish to make it all pop just a bit more. I also hit the joints and a majority of the gray little parts right there because I didn't want to paint them up. I also wanted the white to have a glossy finish, but things don't always turn out the way you want them to, and for some reason the gloss had a chemical reaction with the white primer, which is weird because they're both Rust-Oleum, so why? But now the next and final step in this whole custom process is rebuilding the figure. Now this on paper should be the easiest step, but my dumbass kinda threw away the instruction manual, so now I kinda have to build it by memory. But it's totally worth it, because in the end here we have Flame Toys Leo Prime completely painted up. Now there are some details here that I added at the last minute and did forget to film. Like a lot of the silver detailing on the chest, the shoulders, the head, that I didn't really want to do because I didn't want to make this feel overcomplicated or overdesigned. But the biggest thing I added was the silver shadowing on a majority of the white pieces. That funny enough, I don't even know if they're noticeable on camera too much. But by far the part I'm most proud of on this figure is the maximal piece, cause it's small, like really small. Like this thing is so small my phone could barely focus on it. That's how small we're talking. Now because this video is not scripted, I totally forgot to mention that before I hit the tail with the Rust-Oleum gold, I first hit it with the same metallic black and gloss that I used everywhere else. After that, I masked the joint connecting parts and then hit the rest of it with gold. And the end result is barely noticeable. How nice. I think I say this every time I do a custom showcase, but this genuinely might be my new favorite custom. No, seriously, like the new techniques I use, like the silver base coat, them being hit with a light blue or a light red, only to be sealed off with a gloss finish, and then actually look good? And then also throw in a majority of the hand-painted pieces on this figure? Like, I don't want to be the one to say this, but guys, I think I just peaked. Because in conclusion, this custom came out surprisingly good. I say surprisingly because I didn't really plan anything on this figure out. It all just kind of came together smoothly. And even then, I don't think I'm finished because I think I might add some more details and touch-ups here and there once my markers get here. Because ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and if you don't mind, I gotta get out of here and start cooking on the next vid. So see you next time. Okay, so I've been gone for a fat minute, but first of all, happy birthday to Chicken Soup 1312. Hopefully I remembered and threw something up at the beginning. As for other news regarding the channel, I don't really have much this time around. The most I can say is, for longtime viewers, the Transformers Prime review is coming. After a gazillion rough drafts, I think I'm working on the final one. This is the one. This has to be. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna do more custom tutorial type of things, see how this one goes. Bye bye.